So this is a demonstration of the data headquarters ArcCatalog add-in in action. Here I have the GIS database folder. When I start adding client folders, that's where they're going to show up. Here I have the DHQ database, has clients table, deliverables, projects, project data, project notes. So when I create entries, they'll be recorded in these tables. Take a look at one real quick. There's clients. So here, the object ID is what's going to be the unique project or client identifier. Then it gives the client name, client's industry, an abbreviation if it has one, the folder name itself. So let's say I want to add a new client. I go up here to data headquarters, click add a new client. This form pops up. I can create a new one. Hit OK, create client. It creates the new client folder here, refreshes the screen. And if I look in the DHQ clients table, I see the new row there. So again, this object ID number is what's going to drive a lot of these other things. They'll all have that number attached, and that'll allow for multiple entries associated with the one client. And the same holds true for the projects table. So when I enter new project, it gets that object ID, and that's what then drives multiple entries for deliverables, project data, project notes. So now let's say I want to add a new project for this new company. If I select the company and then hit add new projects folders, there's not a constraint on this really, but I could add one if I wanted to do it for my specific company. This dropdown I wanted to make so that it starts basically compiling a list of project types entered. So it would populate that list, and then I wouldn't have to type one in and make them different. But I don't have that working yet. If I hit OK, create new project, it makes a new folder with the project number and the project name. It added a row to the DHQ database, and then it also added all the standard project folders and all their subfolders. It also created a geodatabase for this project. I don't have it making the data sets that I normally have in there in my template geodatabase. So they want a spatial reference, and I haven't gotten to that part yet. But then I could do other things like import new project data for this project. So if I select the project here, hit that, it pops this form and it fills in the date, asks whom the data was sent by, and for a short description. And I'll show actually if I try to hit one of these buttons, so I could say just store the data for now, or store the data and also create a working folder for today. If I try to hit one, it should pop an error because these are blank. So all data info is missing. Please fill in the info. If I just do one, this one's missing. But if I fill in that info, say stored the data and also create a working folder for today, it gives me this message. Please drag and drop the files to store into both folders that are about to open. So if I wanted to drag them from an Outlook window, so it actually opened two folders. One's the deliverable folder where I'd store the data in its raw form, and then I could also add it to this working folder, and then from there I could manipulate the data or change it how I wanted to. So it also created a new folder here, or that's the same folder you saw up here actually, and then it added a row to the deliverables saying who sent it, basically what it is, when it was sent. And finally, if I again select the folder here, hit view it, edit a project's info, it shows me this folder, shows the client. It shows here I should be able to fill in where I'm storing data, such as the file geodatabase. If I had ArcSD database or some data in ArcGIS Online, I could fill in the info here. I don't have the update button working yet, but should be able to fill all this in or make a change here, then hit update, and it'll rewrite to this database. If I want to add a project note, again, I don't have all this working yet. And also over here, the idea is that it would also list all the projects for this client, so I could flip between them quickly. Since they're all for the same client, they should be somewhat related. So that's a quick demo of the Data Headquarters ArcCatalog add-in.